This show contains views and opinions that may not be suitable for certain audiences. Listener discretion is strongly advised. A friendly reminder, Mary Jane edibles are not a substitute for actually paying your Lyft driver. Don't forget to tip your bartenders, you filthy fucking animals. And if you've got kinks, we've got links. Don't forget to subscribe, put on your seatbelt, and enjoy the ride.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to Thespian Talk. I am your host, Gomer the Ranting Thespian. With me this week is Michelle.
Hello.
And Scolipendra.
Hiya.
So we're gonna be changing things up here and there. Because lately, for the past 200 plus episodes, it would be mostly me going out gathering the stories, bring them in, and reading them out to everybody and doing that. This is something I've toyed around with in the past, but never really set to implement it until now. And so we're gonna do things a little bit differently in that we each of us has at least one new story or something that we found on the internet that we want to share about, and we'll each read our own. So I'll read mine, Michelle reads hers, etc. So that's going to be a little bit different. Yeah, make that right at the start of the show so you know what you're getting into and all of that good stuff. And that's in addition to the other stuff we're going to be talking about too. So it's going to be interesting, going to be a little bit of a ride here and there. But yeah, so also at the time of this recording, if you're a patron of mine over on Patreon, you'll notice that there are two new videos that I've put two new videos that are going to be meant for public consumption at some point that are up there, and I've started doing some Minecraft videos, which it's all right. And I've realized just why it's so difficult for me to edit like some of my longer videos. I am a fucking motor mouth. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, everybody who listens to this show is like, no fucking shit. But yeah, but I kept it to tried to keep it to 20, maybe 30 minutes at most for all those, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. And the day we're recording this, one of the other YouTubers I follow, M&J TV Plays, who's M&J TV's gaming channel. For those who don't know, M&J TV is a PokeTuber, focuses on Pokemon and all of that. And he just started playing Minecraft for the first time, and I'm like, oh, really? You do that now? Okay. Honestly, we could not have known that about each other, so that's fine. It happens sometimes. Speaking of YouTubers, though, well, actually, before we start speaking of other YouTubers, Michelle, how have you been this past week?
Mostly good. Kind of, good. I still have nothing to do at work, so I've been doing Spanish practice. I've been, I bought myself a new craft kit, and I've left it in one of the drawers at work.
Yeah.
So I'm making a craft kit. I'll show you some pictures later.
Sweet.
Yeah. Not too bad. I've finally been paid. I was overdrawn, and it was like, I've had to wipe out my savings. And oof. Yeah, well, it was only 50 quid, but it was still nice knowing it was there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my savings are. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, and I also had to take a bit of money out of my PayPal, which I didn't want to do because I was saving that for other stuff.
Yeah. But
payday came. Overdraft paid off. I have money to do things. I paid the bills that needed to pay straight away. But
hooray!
I need a new computer, so if I got this pay packet any other time, it'd be like, oh, I can actually save some money. I can treat myself to something, Okay, fine. Getting a new computer is treating yourself to something extravagant, but it's a need rather than a want. It's like, all right. So hopefully, because of the timing, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I might be able to get a good bargain because I've set myself a budget. I've set myself a minimum, because I don't want anything less than a terabyte, because I'm not going to go from having a terabyte computer to think it's only 64 gig. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I'm obviously going to need Office unless it comes with it, which I don't think it will. So, a few considerations, but hopefully the sales will be good to me. And I'm going to be using an actual electronics store local to me, possibly Amazon. I haven't really yet poked it on there, but if I do it at the store, I can probably do click and collect, even though not. We're in lockdown again, so they're not open, but a lot of stores are like, if you come here between this time and this time with your receipt for what you've ordered, we can hand it to you over through a counter. winter or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, speaking of lockdowns, that's starting back up in this country again.
Yeah.
Because fucking assholes don't want to wear the mask. But my freedoms! We've already been over this. Oh, fucking hell. Speaking of other people in our country, Scully, how have you been?
Oh, been alright. Just kind of same old stuff. Just, my channel released, my group released a thing recently, so that was nice.
Ooh, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, and one of the... I mentioned the lockdowns. One of the states that's going back on fuller lockdown, or at least part of it. I don't know if it's the whole state or if it's just one city, but Illinois
Oh, wow.
is going back on lockdown, which Becky was supposed to have like a for some side money or whatever. She would work at I think it's like the student. I want to say student union, but I don't think that's the right term for it. But she would work there for a little bit, for some extra money and all of that, while she's taking classes and all of this. And, well, she can't do that because of lockdown. And there are very few, if any, classes that need to be taken at her local college. And some of the ones that do include, veterinarian type stuff. Where you, have to put your hands on, a cadaver or something. That sort of thing. But for her, I think for her next semester, she's not going to need to do very much. So, but still, that also impacts her work, and it's like, well, nobody's going to be going there, so she's not needed there apparently. So I was like, and then just and don't get me started. I'm on the tantrum throwing orange bastard. Oh, fuck him.
Yeah.
My God.
Does Becky get paid for all her clinic hours?
She does not.
Oh, no.
It's volunteer basis, and she's not. Thankfully she is not in a position to where she is absolutely hurting for money. So, because she does get some stuff here and there, and of course her commissions, and of course there's at least one person who supports her on Patreon. Yeah, you can support her on Patreon too. That would be nice for her. But so we're gonna keep it. I mentioned Trump. He's still throwing his tantrums, trying to say he won this, he won that, and trying to have votes thrown out. I think it was I don't remember if it was led by him, but it was definitely people who loved the taste of his boot.
Yeah.
Politicians in Michigan who are like, we need to throw out all these votes, and all these votes are from Detroit, which is predominantly black. Yeah, let's just Republicans. You could say the quiet part out loud. We know, and we really should be kicking you all to the curb anyway. Every last one of you, and that includes Mitch McConnell. Which Kentucky? What the fuck is wrong with you? Did you all? Go ahead.
No, it's top story on Google, literally on my phone right now. Republican certifiers in Michigan back down after refusing to approve Biden's win, and that's The Guardian, which is a British paper.
Yeah, so they are the GOP are like bullies. They will do everything they can to exert their power, but you stand up to them, then most likely they will back down. So they are cowardly bullies.
Oh, yeah, here's the subheading. Wayne County certifiers refuse to sign off on election results but changed course after outcry that their actions were racist, reckless, and irresponsible.
Well...
if the boot fits.
Yep, very much so. Remember, this is the same party that here in Florida, up until, I think it was 2016, 2018 election, that was in charge when felons could not easily get the right to vote back after serving their time. For those who don't know Florida's geography, Tallahassee is up here in the Panhandle, also known as the Taint. Think about it, you'll understand why I call it that. And if you were a felon, you served your time, and you wanted to get your voting rights back, you had to go to Tallahassee. For me, it's maybe an hour and a half drive tops to get to the state capitol building or the state courthouse or wherever it needed to go. because I'm just that close. Now imagine coming up from Miami. From here to Miami is about an 8-hour trip one way. So let's say about 7 hours one way from Miami to Tallahassee. Assuming traffic is good, and assuming you take the turnpike, which is a toll road. So you're having to pay for your gas money or toll money to get from Miami all the way up to Tallahassee. Because if you go on 75, hell, even if you go on 75, that's part of a toll. If you want to go totally toll-less, you're either taking highways, non-interstate highways, or you're taking I-95 all the way up. So, you know, it's not easy without paying, that's what I'm saying, or not timely. So, going 8-hour drive, one way to go up, Gesundheit.
Thank you.
And then you also have to pay to go back. Not everybody is capable of doing that. Especially if you're a convicted felon and you haven't been able to find work, if you're tight on money or what have you, and also considering who gets the felon stick beat up, slapped upon their head more often. In comparison, it's basically a way to keep black people, specifically poor black people, from voting. Unless they went up to Tallahassee to... They probably don't tout it as this, but this is how I'm seeing it. Basically beg at the foot of the white governor and his panel. Now, this was a thing that was in place when Rick Scott was governor. He is now a senator. Fuck you, Rick Scott. And I'm willing to... And they've been trying to roll that back a bit, because apparently DeSantis also wants to get his dick hard that way. Just ugh. So that is the thing that Republicans are capable of doing and have done, and still try to continue to do. From that to tossing out votes because of every little scrutiny, and it just happens to be black voters. Yeah, because they don't want a fair fight. They want to win by any means necessary, which is something a lot of us have been screaming for years. So we're gonna, but unless we've got any other thoughts on this, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the politics behind. If unless y'all got something you want to put in real quick.
I think you covered it.
Just stupid
Okay.
people. I don't get the whole, felons not allowed to. I can't remember if in the UK if a criminal convicted felon who has, well, it wouldn't be a felon here, but someone who has served their time isn't allowed to vote anymore. Hang on a second. Mm-hmm. Hey Google, if a forget it.
Oh.
I completely get it. Hey Google, can a British criminal who served time vote?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand.
Fair enough.
So, but
it could be my wording. It could be my wording.
Yeah. In terms of like felons getting the right to vote back, only I want to say less, maybe no more than half, probably less, of all states allow that just automatically. Like, you serve your time, doesn't matter, boom, your voting rights are restored, and you've done your thing. That's fine.
Yeah.
There are too many states that don't allow that. And some of those states that do allow that, or are supposed to allow that, they make it difficult.
I mean, I can understand if the individual has a high rate of recidivism and they're just a bad egg. But if it's like a first time thing or they're all the time served, then give them the vote back. Yeah.
Although there is also the case that there are much more heinous criminals that still are allowed to vote. Because a lot of these felons have been made into felons because of pot, basically, or other drugs. It's like it's not all of them, but a lot of it is, because white business owners couldn't handle the competition from marijuana. So we're gonna move on from that, and And I mentioned that we each have at least one thing to bring into the show and look at, and I actually have two. One is going to be saved for the other half of the show. But this one is a bit, I'm going to call it Twitter drama a little bit, but not so much drama. And it's something that came up within the last couple of days. There is to have Becky describe her. She is a not Becky, the person we're about to talk about, is a controversial YouTube cartoon ranter, and her name is Lily Orchard. And pretty sure I brought up that we were going to do this, and I know Scully is going to have some thoughts. So Lily Orchard did this whole big 100 plus thread of writing tips. Well, supposedly simple writing tips. I have also heard that she comes off as being able to give the advice but never be able to take it, to the point to where if you try and criticize her, she gets all whiny and everything. That's based on what I've heard, and I'm paraphrasing, and I might be a little inaccurate, but that's based on my understanding of it. If I am wrong, please correct me. So we probably won't go through all of them because there's 100 plus things on here. But the thread itself has been deleted. But hey, the Wayback Machine exists.
Okay, hang on a second. Why was it deleted? If any of these, if these tips are actually genuinely good, even if she's not following them, then surely that'll still be a useful thread.
You would think, but again, she's the kind of person who can give out. You can dish out the criticism and the critiques, but can't take them.
Yeah.
You know. So the thread in question is simple writing tips, a thread. And somebody had actually did a thread reader thing on it too, which is what we see in the Wayback Machine. Again, we're not going to go through all of them, but there will be some that we can go through we could talk about. Her very first one is just do not... Are you okay over there? Okay, so her very first one is, don't worry about spoilers. If your story is good, spoilers aren't going to make it any less enjoyable. If spoilers make a story less enjoyable, that just means you are relying on cheap shock value as a shortcut. Not necessarily, because everybody deals with spoilers differently. You know, I mean, I kind of was semi-spoiled on certain things going in, like even the more recent Star Wars movies, I was spoiled a little bit on some of them. Like, I think going into Force Awakens, I knew that Han Solo was going to die.
I didn't.
But you know, I still went in and I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And sometimes knowing that so and so is going to die, or so and so is like this, is like, okay. Now you're thinking, okay, how did they do that in the movie? How do you get to that point? Now sometimes if they spoil it whole cloth, you know, it's still not the same as seeing it happen in real time.
Sorry,
but that's also sorry.
It's that there's a Simpsons quote for everything. Oh boy, I can't believe Darth Vader was Luke's father all this time.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's also, but see, what I'm talking about here also applies specifically to me, but it can also apply to others. Others might see those spoilers and be like, oh, I can't enjoy it now. I know what's coming, you know, and you know, so it's if a spoiler makes a story less enjoyable, it's not because of the writer. You know, it's not because of the writer of the story. It's just that's a person who, for whatever reason, can't seem to enjoy it without, you know, while knowing the big reveal at the end or what have you. You know, some people can, some people can't. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I'm going to jump down a little bit here to number 4. Victims of abuse moving away from the negative impacts of their abuse, i.e. Zuko, and becoming healthier are not redemption arcs, quote unquote. Okay, so victims of abuse moving away from the negative impacts of their abuse. So I'm guessing Zuko, I know he's from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've never watched the show. So I'm kind of floundering a little bit here, but
Neither
so
am
from what I
either.
understand, he underwent some abuse, and he responded by getting away from those whatever impacts those were, and became a healthier person, became a better person. How's that? And I'm assuming at one point Zuko was more antagonistic, was more of a bad guy, and then after dealing with those underlying layers, gained some self-awareness and became generally a good guy. Bear in mind, I am guessing based on this alone.
From what I know about Avatar, yeah, that's basically it. But okay, Lily Orchard's got a huge hate boner for Avatar, and yeah.
So we're gonna be seeing more of anti-Avatar stuff as we go through this. You're saying?
Oh boy.
Well, she's got a hate boner for several cartoons, got
Steven
one for
Universe.
Steven Universe is the big one.
Oh wait, was she the one that did like that big ass long "Why Steven Universe Sucks" video?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is gonna be interesting then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I knew
I
the
didn't-
name sounded familiar, and I knew Becky is not a fan of her.
Oh.
I didn't watch that because I try not to spend too much effort on. Even if people are like H Bomber Guy's done this big old 2-hour video on why Sherlock, BBC Sherlock sucks. I love BBC Sherlock. H Bomber Guy seems like a decent dude. I'm not going to spend 2 hours of my life watching someone, even if I like them, negging on a thing I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I
Even
didn't
if he's
watch
got
Lily's...
good points. Even if he's
Yeah.
got good points.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
So to do that for someone I don't like,
Yeah.
I
boy.
did watch a response video on it. I can't remember who it was who did the response video. Weirdly, that might have been a bomber guy. But anyway,
I don't know.
I watched a response video of Lily's epic Steven Universe takedown. And remembering when this video, when the Lily Orchard's original video came out, this was before, I think, the final season, definitely before Steven Universe Future, where a lot of the things they would have talked about, probably got fit. Well, people have mixed feelings. I like the ending, but other people have mixed feelings that I kind of like, okay, I can sort of see where you're coming from there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
whatever she addressed probably was addressed on the show anyway, in one form or another.
Yeah. Probably. Again, I haven't watched the video myself. I don't really plan to.
Yeah.
I just saw it pop up with my recommendations every now and then.
Generally speaking, I try not to give people who are just posting negative shit the videos. I'll just watch a response video on it instead.
Yeah.
The
So
takedowns are usually more interesting.
yeah. So pop down to well, we could just pop down to the next one. Heroes refusing to kill villains who have shown to be actively trying to murder people isn't noble; it's enabling. That depends on the story. It depends on the character. Because here's the thing: a hero cannot kill a villain. It not be anywhere near noble about it. Think of the Doctor. That's a good one. Yeah, the Family of Blood.
Yeah.
The Doctor didn't kill them. He just put them in. He basically immortalized them, and he could have just he was trying to just let them die natural deaths or whatever. But they fucked with them. They fucked with the people he loved. Hey, you know what? Fate worse than death, motherfuckers.
Yeah, that was
So,
fucking dark.
yeah.
Yeah. So no, he didn't kill them. And the Doctor, pretty much throughout all their lives, they do kill, but not always by choice, from what I see.
And before the Actuallys, yes, we know Family of Blood was originally based on a Seventh Doctor adventure novel.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Same with
So-
Dalek is a remake of Jubilee. We are aware.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that most of your audience would be like that, but in case anyone is.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not necessarily enabling. Sometimes it's a way to tell a story in a very much darker way than normal.
Oh god, yeah.
So, yeah, noble or not, it's especially not enabling, especially if the villain is still getting some sort of comeuppance.
Yeah.
So, yeah. two women kissing in the last episode of a show after 4 or 5 seasons of trying to murder each other isn't revolutionary. It's fetishized abuse and violence. This is about the Korosami thing, isn't it? Well, no, they didn't kiss. I don't think they kissed in the last episode. I think it was just holding hands.
Yeah, I think this might be about She-Ra.
I was gonna say She-Ra.
Yeah.
Although also, spoiler.
Yeah.
Also,
well,
no, because I watched that show, and I think I'm gonna sit down and watch it again. They were friends at the beginning. They never actively tried to kill each other. There was even, well, Katja arguably, but I don't think her heart was ever truly in it. And if you actually sit down and watch it, you know what there is in there? There's nuance. There's character development. You know what else is there? Sexual tension. Like, Katadora is a thing for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason why people ship Lupin the Third with Inspector Zenigata sometimes. Although they also ship him with every other main character as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the whole thing, Lupin the Third ship is like big old polycule of fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see some comics like that too, and it's like, that's kind of funny too. So let's see. Twitter is not an appropriate place to reveal story details. The appropriate place is in the work itself.
I mean,
Depends on the work.
Yeah, it really depends.
Yeah. And, coming out, certain transphobe coming out and saying, oh, this character was gay all along in all 6, 7 of her novels. However many books there were in that series. Maybe throw some hints in the work too.
Yeah.
If it's just dropped, that would be one thing. And yes, that is a dig at J.K. Rowling.
7 books, 8 films, plus the Fantastic Beasts, whatever number that ends up being.
Yeah. Whenever a character's body count is over 10,000 innocent lives, and that character is no longer redeemable.
Well, we have a point there.
Yeah. Again, that also depends on how those lives were killed. If it was an accident, that's an accident. Now, if they were malicious and like, yeah, fuck all of you, to going like fucking Kefka in Final Fantasy VI, yeah, Kefka is so not redeemable.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course, immediately after, Tip 8 does not apply to characters for whom making them the villain was a stupid, idiotic idea, i.e. Sylvanas Windrunner. At that point, it's just character derailment. Really?
What?
So, we could say... Wait. We could say that making Kefka a villain was a stupid idea. Or at least the demigod, the god he tried to be and was for a while, a stupid idea, and thus re-railing him and giving him a redemption arc at the end of Final Fantasy VI would what? I don't even know what I'm saying at this point.
Goma, I take back what I said at the beginning. These are not good tips.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's see. We'll skip down a couple to number 11. Don't pair adults with minors. That's pedophilia.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that one.
I agree with that.
On its face, yes. But there is also nuance that she is leaving out. That somebody else on Twitter pointed out as well. Because, number 1, there's pedophilia, there's ephebophilia. Still minors, different names. So, and there could be a story to where, an adult is paired with a minor, but it is seen in a negative light. And is a, hey, this shit is not cool, don't do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm noticing a pattern. I don't think Lily Orchard grasps nuance very well.
Yeah. And then it also ties into number 12, don't sexualize teenage characters. Teenagers fuck.
Yeah.
I would say don't fetishize it, don't talk about it in great detail, but you have teen characters that have sex. Oh, I want to say it's been a while since I've read through some of Judy Blume's, works that are more aimed at a teenage audience. But there are, hell, she's had books on the banned list for talking about things like periods and shit. So, and bear in mind, these were also written like in the 70s. So,
at the epic adventure I'm currently listening to, which was written in the 90s, started In the first chapter, two characters that are explicitly said to be about 11, 12 years old, there is a somewhat graphic description of their first kiss. I say they are the same age. They said there are a few months between them, but and it kind of goes into sort of details that may be a little bit uncomfortable because they are 12-year-olds. However, it's also actually a plot point. Actually, once you get further into the story, one, you don't spend a huge amount of time with them as children. Spoilers for a 25-year-old story that I haven't even titled. But yeah, it's actually, especially for the female character, it's kind of a trigger point for her for the start of her arc as an adult.
Yeah.
So yeah, teenagers doing grown-up sexy time things, even if you can, because some people would be pearl clutch. Because like I said, I consider myself somewhat liberal, and even I think, even I had an uncomfortable moment listening to it. I think maybe it is because I was listening to it as well rather than reading it. Maybe that made a difference. But even someone like me I can get how sometimes you could be uncomfortable about it, but doesn't mean there isn't bigger context. And yes, kids are the same age, teenagers are the same age, and yeah, I mean, with your weird statutory laws, like a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old could be considered legal, but 2 years is nothing, especially once you get to 17, 18.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, one's technically a minor, one's technically an adult, but there's
there's got to be more nuance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which also ties into number 13. Don't make up weird anime excuses for sexualizing teenage characters, such as Actually 1000, A Fusion, or Age of Consent Next Country is. It's like, okay, number one, if we're talking about the Actually 1000 years old thing or what have you, the character themselves would be 1000, but they still look like a child.
Yeah.
And that's still, ugh.
Yeah.
So it's like, and if you're making up that kind of an excuse, it's like, technically you're not wrong, but it's still icky because she still looks like a 5-year-old child. Oh, you know?
No, that's gross.
That is. It's like, ugh.
Isn't that why? Sorry, I'm jumping in a lot here.
Yeah, you're okay.
Isn't that why a lot of vampiric media, it's, I know for definite it's brought up in Vampire Chronicles, and I know from Dom putting himself through reading them all, that it is mentioned in Twilight that you do not turn children. For different reasons. Twilight is because they could become like hyper violent and can't be controlled. With the Vampire Chronicles, it's more because they're children and it's not fair on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, technically once, is it Olivia in the interview? I can't remember her name. I think it's Claudia. Yeah, Claudia gets to the point where she is, on paper, she is an adult, but she still has that child body.
Yeah.
So I get it. I mean, it's a thing that is, okay, I picked a fantasy genre, but it is written into certain genres that, no, you don't immortalize children because at some point they become adults. In fact, speaking of immortals, there was an arc in The Highlander where there was a boy that got turned when he was 10 years old. And because of that, because his body never grew up, but his mind did, he gets frustrated. At one point, he says, "I'm never gonna grow up. I'm never gonna have a car. I'm never gonna screw."
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the next few, she's getting into minorities here, such as number 14, making a metaphor for gay, trans, or ace representation always inherently inferior to just making a gay, trans, or ace character. I can see both ends on that one, because it would be easier to just have this person here and see the actual outcome based on a human, but some people that just doesn't click in some people's brains. So having that metaphor helps a little bit. So I could see both ends on that one.
I've always been confused. Is Lily trans? Because her avatar's they've got a female avatar, but their voice is quite masculine.
She's a trans woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So again, the metaphor, over just having an actual character in for that. That's it. I guess it depends on who your audience is. Like,
Yeah.
if you think your audience would respond better to a metaphor, they're like, oh, I get it, then use the metaphor. If they would respond better to this, then use the other one.
Yeah.
I mean, that just... if there are humans in your story, restricting gay, trans, or ace rep to the non-human characters makes you a huge turd. I mean...
I get that argument, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. This also ties into the whole metaphor thing, too. And that can also tie into other things, such as, race or gender or what have you. You know, again... depending on the audience, some of them may only get that if they see it, see it happening to either a human or a non-human. So, I mean, me personally, I would just make human characters that way. Because humans are gay, humans are trans, humans are ace.
Ace.
Yeah. So it's just...
Sorry, I discovered one topic somewhat recently, and when he covers r/ace, he actually says like that, ace. It just makes me laugh.
Yeah. So, and there are some, like, he's taking shots at stereotypes, like the only gay man being a foppish diva, or the only non-binary character is a non-human shapeshifter, or if your only autistic character is an ethically challenged number fetishist. All of these, she calls them huge turds. Same with, like, black character. If your only black character is a volatile, hyper-angry brute, the stereotype, the big, scary black man.
Hey, Scully, that whole non-binary shape-shifting alien, do you think that's a dig at Double Trouble?
Yeah. Yeah, or, yeah, it is.
Although I think I can find a loophole. What if the non-binary character is a human shapeshifter? Oh, what do you say to that? No, but with all of these, we are getting to a point where we don't necessarily need the stereotypes for representation. I mean, if you're discussing and making fun of them or what have you, the stereotypes themselves. Or what have you. I may not be wording it right. Yeah, it would be one thing, but not in a serious, like, stand-in for what a character should be.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm getting at.
Go on, honey. This is a long list, and I know what you like. We could be on this for the rest of the show. And they're like hyper points you want to hit, and they're like some big standouts. Because as interesting as this is, I know it can go on.
Yeah, we are. It is getting a bit long. I agree.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take one or two more. And I'll try and slide down a little bit here. Let's see. Go down to there is one that actually was kind of brought up by somebody else in a video earlier. Justifying horny armor designs or horny clothing designs with sexual agency makes you a huge turd. Characters don't have sexual agency. You made them that way as a justification. Yeah, I don't know if I can... It's like, you design, and if you're horny when you design, you design when you're horny, then that's on you. And if... YouTuber Surus put it best. If you're going to sexualize characters in your world anyway, and you're going to hypersexualize them, do it for all of them and not just one gender or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought you had more to the serious quote.
Nah, that's basically it there.
Okay. If you want a more practical, real-world view on that as well, as a YouTube channel called Shadiversity, he's a huge onto medieval stuff. I haven't watched all of his videos, but the ones I have seen are very interesting. And he does go into game design and costume design and like real-world, equivalents and how this would have actually worked. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna have more than a couple of videos on armor of various types.
Yeah. So we get down here. Okay. I'm doing this one only because it's number 69.
Nice.
Because I am a mature adult. Slow burn does not mean taking forever to get together. It means full series-long romantic subplot. Getting together is the start of a romantic subplot, not the end. So, are you saying that Nodame Cantabile is an anime slow burn series? To the 5 people who get that, you're welcome. But it's like, slow burn depends on how you view slow. But then the one right after that is one I actually did want to look at. Sexual Awakening is not a real character arc. That depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
It totally can be. It could totally rock your world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. We're gonna get down here to these last two, because this is one of those things. Number 100. If you write a 100 tweet long thread of writing advice, you are a huge loser with way too much free time on your hands. Get back to work and do something productive with your time. And then
Was
number
that
100.
her or was that a burn?
No, that was her.
All right.
And then 101, tips and rules are 2 different words. Notice she wrote a 101 tweet long thread.
Is she totally funny there?
I will give her some credit. That is kind of clever, but there is a lot we did not cover.
Oh yeah.
That oh lordy, and it's just there are issues and there are critiques to be had on a lot of things, but there's also there's also nuance to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just nuance, people. That's what we need. Just in everything. It's not all one way. It's not all the other way. We're not always black and white. You know.
Yeah.
Or however the fuck the rest of that song goes from Pokemon.
Sorry, that whole writing 100 tip list and then making it 101 ways with a joke. There are 10 types of people in the world. Those who understand binary and those that don't.
Gotcha. That's funny.
Yes.
Yeesh.
But with that,
Before
yeah.
we do, because I thought you might have done it earlier when you said about a YouTuber, gonna have to do a quick shout out.
Okay.
Our friend Erin.
Yes, Erin. Yeah, he's lately been doing like the what was it, the 30 plus films of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and before he puts them up on YouTube, he'll show them to us in like Rosen server, and I've caught a few of them that way. And I find it interesting that I'm hearing names. I'm like, oh hey, they play so and so on General Hospital. Cue everybody be like, oh, of course you would find that. Yes, I would.
That's not why I'm bringing him up. His GoFundMe.
Oh yes, because like everybody else, we're all going through some hard times. He is no exception, and he does need a little bit of help. We shall remember to put the link in the doobly-doo for this episode.
Yes, we will, because I will remind you.
Yeah, and
Don't worry,
we'll
I
make
don't see it.
and we will make sure it's in the green room too.
Yes, I'll go. I'm getting it now.
Yeah,
It's
so-
GoFundMe, so the address doesn't have a nice short version of the address.
Yeah.
I'm going to copy the link
We
into
could-
the agreement now while I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, someone's
so,
already given $50. Awesome.
Oh, nice.
It's only $400, people. That's all he wants. How many listens on average do we get?
I'm a little embarrassed to say. But no, I think enough to where if everybody get pitched in like $10-$20, it should make it no problem.
Yeah.
If everybody can, I should say.
Yeah. So basically, if long-term listeners of the show know who he is, you know he's good people. If you're a new listener, hello, nice to meet you. But also go check out the archive. There's some really good shit in there, and then you'll get to meet him and everything. So yeah, please help my friend.
Yes.
Because he's good people.
Yes, he is. He is very good people. But yeah,
Holy
with
shit, that
you-
is a long link. Sorry.
Yeah, that is. No, it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, with that, we're gonna go ahead and take our break, and then when we come back, we'll each read our little individual news articles that we've got. So stick around. Hey folks, we'll get back to the show in a moment, but first I want to tell you about Patreon. Patreon is what I use to get around all of the YouTube adpocalypse bullshit, and while I don't have a lot right now, every little bit does help. And if you like what you hear or what you see on any of my videos or podcasts, head on over there. For as little as $1 a month, you can get all of these things early before anybody else does, and you can get them completely ad-free. Yeah, I know YouTube right now is technically ad-free, but at some point I'm probably going to get big enough to where ads will start coming in, and those can be annoying, so you want to avoid that, right? If you go ahead and go now over to patreon.com/Gomer21XX, leave $1, $5, doesn't matter how much, you can get all of these. Again, you can get them early, and you get them without ads, even when I reach the point on YouTube to where ads can be put on these videos. So it's a win-win. And you can even avoid the ads that go up on the Anchor versions that go out to all of the other websites that are out there. No ads. It's great. So that's patreon.com/Gomer21XX.
And now, an important message from Tyler Green, Kitty Quinn, and Randy Martin.
Are you tired of asking yourself if that obscure show or movie you watched once was a fever dream?
Is it still in your brain to this day as a 3 a.m. channel-changing hallucination? Well, join us as we yank that said memory out of your subconscious while we do a deep dive on it on Channel KRT.
Channel KRT is a new bi-weekly podcast where we look at the best and worst of obscure media. We'll be covering such topics as
The Puzzle Place,
Clown TV,
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV show,
Reanimated,
The Weird Al Show,
We Sing,
and more. Join us every other week over at Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, and wherever podcasts can be heard. Channel KRT, cut to static.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and this is the little segment of the show where I keep for myself in a show where I do most of the talking, it seems. But that's okay. Yeah, as I said at the beginning of the show, we're going to do some different things with the format and all of that. Hopefully you guys like it. Let me know one way or the other, because we really could use the feedback. So, yeah, that's going to be fun thing to try, and with this particular one, we'll try to keep it a little less on the political side, because we all know that Trump is still throwing his tantrum for not winning. He's trying to claim that all these places were cheating and blah 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 blah. You know, we know all of this. We got into it a little bit earlier in the episode even, but I'm gonna try to keep it less political. I mean, we'll still delve into it when necessary. And honestly, this is something I've been thinking about even before the election. And, let's try to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit something maybe to each of our own niches, which is one of the reasons why I did everyone bring like 1 or 2 stories in, that sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, the funny thing about last week though is most of y'all probably would never have seen it, but, interestingly enough, when I went to edit last week's episode, I actually screwed up a little bit there. OBS didn't record the proper channels that I needed it to at the time. And thankfully, we all record our own backups. And I went and I did it like I normally do. But Scully's audio was ahead by a bit, which it got to the patrons, which is how Scully found out. And it's like, hey, dude, I'm a little off balance from everybody else. And I looked, and lo and behold, oh shit. So if it wasn't for him, I probably would not have known it. But yeah, most of y'all wouldn't have known it because I got it fixed before it all went live. So thankfully. And I am thankful that the places that I do post, YouTube and Anchor and even Patreon, they allow you to just re-upload the file without having to make a whole new thing. So that is a good blessing right there. But yeah. That's just wanted to blab about that a little bit. Some stuff that I really didn't touch on in the main show. Some stuff about where I want to go with the show in the future, that sort of thing. I do touch on a little bit here and there, because of course I do. But I want to just have this little space here to just say, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and of course, the big thing, nuance. Just to reiterate from the first part of the show talking about Lily Orchard, nuance. Live it, learn it, love it. All right, enjoy the rest of the show. And we are back from our break, and yeah, See what I mean when I talked about the whole motor mouth thing at the beginning of the show when I was talking about the Minecraft video?
No, I have no idea what you're
really.
talking about.
But yeah, so all right. So like I also said at the beginning of the show, we each have our own things we brought to the table. So I'm gonna go first on this one because it's kind of light, and I do want to tie it into another kind of more serious thing as well. That has nothing to do with what the actual article is about. Mm-hmm. But for those who follow me in all of that, I play Pokemon. I play the main series games. I play Pokemon Go, all that good stuff. I hunt for shinies. I have over several hundred unique shinies, as in each species. Like I have the entire Bulbasaur line. I have, so I have a couple of legendaries, a couple of Ultra Beasts, that sort of thing. And that's still maybe a third of them that I can collect in the game. So anyways, Pokemon Go, as of the day we're recording this, November 18th, released a thing saying that they're gonna shake up some shit by the end of the year, and it is this Go Beyond. The Pokemon Go journey continues beyond, and I'm just gonna go over some of the highlights of this. For example, they've got a level up redesign coming, and the level cap was increased to level 50. Currently, it's level 40, which, hey, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. And they're rebalancing everything in terms of levels. Obviously, they kind of have to. Which, oh lordy, I'm at level 38. I've heard that getting through level 39 experience-wise is a slog. So there is that. Trainers who have reached level 40 will soon have the opportunity to level up to 50. Be one of the first to earn bragging rights as a level 50 trainer. That is, if you're up for the challenge. And if you haven't reached 40 yet, you'll find leveling up easier than ever before with adjustments to the various ways you can earn experience. And I think one of those is for the rest of the year, experience is going to be doubled for catching Pokemon.
Nice.
So that's cool. They're also introducing seasons, which work if you've played the Generation 5 games, Black, White, Black 2, and White 2. Every month there would be a new season in game. So you'd have winter for a month, spring for a month, etc. Here they're doing it more realistically in every 3 months.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think starting with December, it's going to be like the wintry months. At least in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, it's going to be reversed because that's how the seasons actually work. So, and of course it's going to affect your spawns, and it's a good thing because we have the Deerling line, which changes depending on the season. And starting in 2 weeks from recording this, December 2nd, they're going to be having Kalos Pokemon coming in, so Generation 6 finally coming to Pokemon Go. And they also have the 12 Days of Friendship event that's going live, actually, the day we are recording this. And a little bit more detail about it. It's basically a big old friendship type event. Friendship levels will increase faster than normal. You can receive an attack boost if you're going to a raid with friends, earn increased experience from completing raids, and you can open more gifts each day. Cool. And this runs, and this is where the experience from catching Pokemon is doubled until the end of the year. So that's pretty cool. And of course, if you reach level 40 before the end of the year, you'll receive like a Legacy 40 medal, timed research that rewards the exclusive Gyarados avatar, things like that there. So there's all of that happening in Pokemon Go. Now, if you're a Go player, you're thinking, okay, hey, maybe that's kind of cool. Or maybe if you've been a bit burned because they did recently do the home transfer, which that thing has some issues on its own, instead of just sending a whole bunch up at once, which you technically can do for most of your low-level normal Pokemon. If you want to send up a whole bunch of shinies, that's a whole different story. Because their little thing has a gauge, and if it runs out, you can't send any Pokemon until it recharges a bit. Now, if you're like me, you can be fine with sending 1, maybe 2 Pokemon a day, or 1 or 2 Pokemon every other day even, sending them on up. But if you get like a shiny mythical, say a shiny Genesect, mythical Pokemon, shiny, it's going to take all of that energy, so you can only do 1 of those per week. And of course, if you want to charge it up faster, it's $10, basically. But there's a way to speed it up, and then there's a way to just wait. Most people are likely going to wait because whatever. But that does bring me. This whole thing does bring me to another thing I saw on Twitter. And this is where it ties into something a little bit more serious too. This guy tweeted out, "So best buddying all of these Pokemon was a complete waste of time and resources? Will you refund the millions of Stardust wasted on other now low rank rated and Ultra League Pokemon? This update is a middle finger to the few people who care about the Battle League and the player versus player." It's like, yeah, because among those, some of those balances are going to be with the PvP stuff, which I don't really do much with, but it's like whatever. But the idea that best buddying a whole bunch of Pokemon, spending time on them, and training them and powering them up and all of that. If you're the kind of person who sees that as a waste of time because something new comes along and messes with a metagame like that, it's like, dude, calm down. You have the same energy as those assholes who argue against canceling student debt. All right, and some of those arguments are against canceling student debt are like, well, I had to pay off all of mine, so why should you get to have it canceled? The fuck you, I got mine type of deal. That's the same energy I'm getting from this.
My understanding with certain persons, like from what I've heard from my American friends, is that oftentimes they have paid off their student debt. It's the fucking interest that's killing them. Yeah,
there is also that. Because, of course, interest has to be a thing that's charged on almost everything. Even though, for people who like to also... These are the same kind of people who like to tout that we're supposedly a Christian nation, even though we're not. These are the same people that like to hide behind their Bibles when I seem to remember at least one translation saying that charging interest is evil.
Yeah, wasn't there something about flipping tables against traders and such like that, tax people?
Yeah! So that is just, again, that is the thing, that is like the one thing, the bad thing I wanted to talk about when it came to the ghost stuff. Everything else, honestly, it's fine. Capped to level 50. All right, cool, yay. Gets a little bit more out of the game. Kalos Pokemon are coming, yay. It's not a lot of them yet. It's basically the starters, Diggersby, but the Diggersby line, the Talonflame line, and if you're in France, Klefki. So that's the only ones you're going to get there so far. But Kalos also doesn't have a lot of Pokemon. So, you can spread it out a little bit. But yeah, just... but it seems like, with this experience, I think it's going to be fun. I have fun with the game to begin with, so I think it's going to be a good time. And also, if you're a Pokemon Go player, this goes up on Thursday. This coming Saturday, the 21st, I believe, is Magmar Community Day. Get yourself some shiny Magmar. So Scully, we're going to start with you on this one. Do you have any thoughts on all of this? Whether it's the updates themselves, that one dude, whatever.
Wow, yeah, that dude on Twitter is being kind of a major whiner.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I had to work hard, and this update is a slap in the face, because, yeah, same energy as I had to go to the military to pay off my debt, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the exact same thing, but,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's just... Yeah. How about you, Michelle? As somebody who, out of the three of us, probably has played Pokemon the least?
Yeah. To be honest, I don't really have an opinion because I don't know enough about it. The updates sound fun.
Yeah.
And that guy's a dick.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I can't really comment. Have fun if it's what you enjoy, and don't let the haters get you down.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there is that, and now who wants to take their story next?
I'm easy.
Okay.
I'm also playing a game at the moment, so.
All right.
Alrighty, so.
Oh, God. All right. Okay, on saying this article kind of reads like an advertisement. I don't know if it's kind of funny.
Okay.
All right. You can get an entire free pizza in exchange for your soul in Toronto right now. You must redeem your soul from one of the seven deadly sins. We're all guilty of something, but this Toronto restaurant is offering up redemption for your sins with a side of free pizza. Stormcrow Manor is celebrating the launch of their new patio and delivery concept, Church of Pizza, with free pies. There's a catch, though. Redemption. Redemption of your soul will cost you $3, and you get to choose from which of the 7 deadly sins you want to be redeemed. The redemption comes in the form of a real, actual, physical golden scroll of absolution, which will be delivered to you with your delicious pie. Their words. The medieval church did it first, but we're doing it better, says the restaurant. Well, can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Alright, and now it's just, offering details on where this restaurant is and all that, But, yeah, honestly, that's actually kind of hilarious.
That is. That's like, hey, a free pizza in exchange for... I like the initial idea, exchange for your soul.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit misleading. It's more like an indulgence, but, I mean, it's fucking worth more than an indulgence, because you actually fucking get something out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I will say, this particular this particular article, this website that you put in there, I clicked on it, and it's like, please allow ad on our sites, and it's like, okay, most times you can just click off of it. Can't click off of it.
Oh, no.
I hate when sites do that.
Yeah, that's not doing that with my uBlock Origin thing, but yeah, I mean, if I had known it was doing that, yeah, I wouldn't have submitted it. Ugh.
No,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, bear in mind, half the time I'm the one having to copy pasta from everything, so it's like, not really a worry.
All right.
That's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So if I were to do that, which indulgence would I give up? I am not giving up lust. Fuck that shit. I'd probably give up wrath.
Unintended.
Yeah. I enjoy lust. I'd give up wrath.
Wrath or, well, I need to eat better, so maybe gluttony, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
Is there a
sloth, so I
menu?
can just get off my lazy ass.
Did they please tell me they have 7 Deadly Sin pizza puns, because that would make the story complete.
It doesn't say
hope so.
anything, unfortunately, but yeah. That would be kind of hilarious.
Yes.
We need pizza puns.
Yeah.
So okay, and I went to prepare myself for Michelle's article, and Metro's doing the same damn thing to me.
Really?
Yeah.
It might be a geolock thing, because I didn't notice it here.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're using AdBlock. We're not gonna let you see. Fuck off.
I'm using AdBlock.
Yeah. It's weird. But I'm not gonna be the one reading it out, so I'm not too worried. But it's still annoying.
Right. So I don't have the problem. I am going to need it to be quiet. No commentary from the peanut gallery, please.
Okay.
Fucking mouse has died again.
We're having mouse problems.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Come on, wake up. I could read it off my phone, but my phone will have even more adverts on it.
Oh no.
Alright, I'll read it off the phone. It'll be a lot quicker and easier. Plus,
Yeah,
you
there
don't
you go.
have to squint at the TV. Give me a second.
That actually allows me to bring up something else that has changed since even starting the show. That back in like 2008, 2009, 2010, if there was something wrong with the site, we just had to deal. We did, because even as far as that, some smartphones existed, but they didn't exist like they do now. So that's really, it's really something. And it's pretty cool.
Cool.
Huh.
Alrighty.
All right.
Okay.
We good?
So, yep. So before I start, are you at all familiar with our supermarkets, like the hierarchy of supermarkets?
Depends on which country.
UK.
No.
Okay. Have you heard of a company called Sainsbury's?
That does not sound familiar to me.
Alright, so basically you've got your Aldi, Lidl, very cheap, no frills shops. You've then got your more middle everyday shops like Tesco, Asda, Walmart would fall into that. And then you've got your aspirational stores and your slightly more upmarket stores. So aspirational would be Sainsbury's into Waitrose, and then like more upmarket would be M&S food stores.
Okay.
So this is to do with Sainsbury's, which is a little more aspirational. And to be fair, I have shopped there. They have some good food and variety. The main reason I don't go there more often is because the nearest ones is... What do you reckon, about 15-minute walk?
What?
Tesco. Sorry, the nearest Sainsbury's.
Sainsbury's?
Yeah.
Like a half-hour walk?
Yeah, you go half-hour walk.
Maybe 45 minutes.
There is a bus route, but considering I've got an Asda literally in spitting distance and a Tesco like 5 minutes, and as I've said previously, I get discount at Tesco. Yeah, but as a store, it's a good store.
Right.
So Sainsbury's has stepped in to defend its Christmas advert after it was heavily criticised online for featuring a black family, with some shoppers even threatening to boycott the supermarket.
So, wait. Black family celebrating Christmas. Because I can see in our green room there's like the little preview picture there. I'm seeing the picture and it looks fine. Looks like somebody just took with their phone camera and it's cool, Yeah.
I
was like, all right. Just wow.
On Saturday, the supermarket giant released the first of a 3-part festive ad with all three centered around meals that stir up memories of home and family. The first, called Gravy Song, features a father and daughter on the phone as they discuss the dad's famous gravy, which he makes every year for Christmas. As the father and daughter chat, a montage of Christmas memories are shown on screen, showing them cuddling on the sofa, family members opening presents, and the dad joining in with his daughters as they dance in the kitchen. It also depicts Dad making his signature gravy, prompting him to start singing the gravy song, the most cringe-worthy yet lovable dad-like manner possible. And I've actually watched the advert and it is adorable. It's basically along the lines of like, here comes the gravy boat's a special boat. It's like, I'm not doing it justice. It's very cute. Since it was first aired, the advert has received controversial feedback online, with some slamming the commercial for not representing them. Others went as far as saying they were boycotting Sainsbury's because of their ad. One shopper tweeted, "Isn't the UK supposed to be about diversity and inclusion? Don't see any of that here. Virtual signalling if ever I saw it."
Oh, wow.
Well, another commented, "Never shopping in Sainsbury's again."
Wow.
Another reason to boycott Sainsbury's, one added. Another tweeted, "Disgraceful, disgusting, shocking." Defending their festive ad, and good for Sainsbury's for standing by it, a spokesman for Sainsbury's explained that their supermarket is for everyone and they wanted their advertising to reflect that. We want to be the most inclusive retail where colleagues love to work and customers love to shop, the spokesman told us. We are proud that our advertising represents the diverse communities we serve. Our Christmas campaign features 3 stories of 3 different families. Sainsbury's is for everyone. And it's important to us that our advertising reflects this. Despite the criticisms from some shoppers, others both praised and defended Sainsbury's for their festive ad. Loving the hashtag Sainsbury's Christmas ads, they make you remember your own memories, one tweeted. While another said, best Christmas ad of 2020 in my opinion. One added, we applaud Sainsbury's for getting it so right. There's a few tweets printed in, and then we've got the rest of the story. Sainsbury's second ad, titled Perfect Portions, was released on Monday and depicts a mother and son reminiscing how the father in their family used to carve the Christmas turkey in the past. And I've seen that one, it's a heartbreak. The final short film, Big Sarnie, will launch on Thursday. Sarnie's slang for a sandwich. Featuring a pair of cousins looking back on Boxing Day spent with an aunt's house over the years at which they were treated humongous turkey sandwiches. Last month, Lawrence Fox revealed that he was going to boycott Sainsbury's after the supermarket tweeted its support for Black History Month. Do you know who Lawrence Fox is?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, he's an actor in the series called Lewis, which was a spin-off from Morse, I think. Lewis star accused Sainsbury's of segregation towards other races, tweeting, "Dear at Sainsbury's, I won't be shopping in your supermarket ever again whilst you promote racial segregation and discrimination." I think you missed the point there, Laurie boy. In response, Sainsbury's replied to the actor, "At Sainsbury's, we strive to be an inclusive retailer where people love to work and shop. Earlier this year, we created online support groups for black colleagues across the business. These safe spaces helped our black colleagues come together, share their experiences and support one another. We represent and serve our diverse society and are proud to be celebrating Black History Month with our colleagues and customers." And that's metro.co.uk.
Wow.
Metro has reached out to Sainsbury's as of this article. They haven't responded. But, apart from what you see in the article, yeah.
Well, yeah. So, wow. So, let me guess. A bunch of white fuckers are like, well, where's our representation? Am I getting that right?
Yes, and to touch on the second advert that I've already watched, that's a white mother and her white son that you see in the footage. So, yeah, what's the other adverts? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming at least one of them is a black family, based on
this first one is, and it's adorable.
Yeah. It's like they're putting up different families. It's like, I'm sorry, random white honky motherfucker. Not everything has to revolve around your skin color. Oh no. Goodness forbid that your skin color is not represented at all times. Hey, maybe you'll know how it feels for other races and other groups that have felt for literally centuries.
Yeah.
So we can take a back seat every now and then. And
I'm on the Office for National
ahead.
Statistics, basically our census, and I'm trying to look into the statistics on what himself was saying about persons of colour. So please continue talking.
Yeah. So it's just like even, regardless of what the populations of each individual race are in any country, representation of all of them is still good. There's nothing wrong with that. It shows, especially from a company standpoint, it shows that yes, we will provide service for you. You are okay. It is okay to come here and get this product from us, and we will treat you well. We will treat you right. We will not fuck you over. At least not any more than we fuck everybody else over. That's mostly a dig at Walmart. So, diversity is good. And just because there's not a white person in every advert or every scene doesn't mean it's a lack of diversity. It by itself, it's just sometimes it just doesn't call for the white honkies. That's all it is.
Okay, so I went to YouGov. Main facts and figures. According to the 2011 census, so 9 years ago, the total population of England and Wales was 56.1 million, and 86% of the population was white, which means 14% are non-white. At 7.5, Asians at 7.5, blacks at 3.3, mixed multiple ethnic groups 2.2, other ethnic groups at 1. So, okay. Idiot Features has a point that's saying that there is a majority white persons, but mixed race includes people who have a white parent and a parent of one of the other ethnicities.
Right.
Also, yeah, 86% is still not 100%. It's still not 90%. It's still not 94%.
Yeah.
I have seen the argument. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with or disagree with it. That
Right.
technically, if you take any given show, long-running soap operas are quite good for this, and you look at the proportion of persons of colour they have in their cast and compare that to the census of the day, technically people of colour could be argued to be overrepresented. So what?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what? I mean, what? I've heard that kind of argument before. Like, what? So every single piece of media has to be directly proportional to the population. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah. If that were true, Spike Lee wouldn't have a career.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't. So, just regardless of the differences between the populations, diversity is good.
Yeah.
And if for no other reason, you're going to have kids that, and maybe even not so much kids, just the younger generations in general, are going to see this, and they're going to see people who look like them. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be like, oh, shit! That's going to mentally open up some doors, and like, oh, hey, I could possibly do that. Like with Kamala Harris being vice president-elect, there are a bunch of Asian and black girls out there who are thinking, holy fuck, I can actually do this. And somebody even went a bit further with that too, because you also have little boys that's like, oh, a woman got in there. That is cool. Because then eventually, if things like this keep happening, it'll get to a point to where it's like, oh, hey, cool. And then you move on to where we don't need to make as big a deal of it. Just like with a lot of other things. A lot of these things that we celebrate now, eventually we're going to reach a point to where they don't need to be celebrated. To the point to where somebody is like, oh, hey, I'm gay. And we're like, all right, you want some pudding with that? Here you go. That's honestly a lot of this that is where a lot of this should be by now. To where it's not a big deal. It's like, hey, I'm gay. Hey, cool. You want some pop? All right. Pepsi or Coke? That's just it should be that way. It really should. And I'm glad to say that among the circles that I tend to run, at least for me personally, it is that way. Then again, apparently my BIDAR is pretty damn good, because the last few people that came out as bi in my circle, I'm like, yeah, okay, I figured. Because that's who I tend to attract, not in the romantic or sexual way, just in the gravity way. If we're gonna go with JoJo logic, read Stone Ocean, you'll understand. You'll understand what I mean.
Did you figure me out? Because it took me a while.
Maybe, but in most cases, I am really usually not surprised. So.
Okay, Mouse has died. There is actually an editorial. Now you wake up. It's almost as long as the original article, but basically it's like, if you only ever heard and couldn't see the latest Sainsbury's Christmas advert, you'd hear from family members having a typical run-of-the-mill conversations, checking in on each other, excited for the festive period, and a sense of genuine love between them. The sound of one siblings being silly and singing the other to the other would probably warm your heart and make you excited to spend time with your own loved ones this Christmas if you're fortunate enough to be able to do so.
Yeah.
That familiar sense of home is relatable to anyone regarding of your skin colour or where you come from. It's one of the few things in life that is pretty universal. I'd say it's unfathomable that some people, and just to be clear, by some people I mean racists, would feel so passionately furious simply because the family starring in Gravy Song advert is black. But this, unfortunately, has become my reality. And then there's like a whole rest of her opinion.
Yeah.
I like this. It takes a special kind of hateful person to watch that wholesome clip and have their blood boil with rage to the point where they want to boycott Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's not more opinion. But yeah, no, it's
Just
I
goddamn
did-
people.
I did say that I had something tangential. Scully, did you have anything more you wanted to add?
Jeez. Man, these people are just, oh yeah, they, again with the whole, virtue signaling, forced diversity. No, you just don't like black people and you don't like being reminded that they exist. Just say it.
Just as a question, is there actually an agreed definition of what virtue signaling actually is?
It is something that exists, but it gets abused way too much. And ironically, the side that I see virtue signaling, like actually fucking virtue signaling, the most tend to be more right-leaning. So it's basically, from my interpretation, virtue signaling is when you kind of make a show of how, morally superior or virtuous you are. Like, basically performativity. Like, I don't know.
Like, I'm getting like Sally Struthers vibes. Like,
Yeah.
remember those old commercials where she would go on and beg people to send money to her so that you could help like kids in Africa or what have you? That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from it.
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Or
So yeah, virtue signaling is basically Sally Struthers.
yeah.
I don't know who that is, but I'm familiar with those kind of like, look at the poor kids in Africa adverts.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a great in the editorial. They posted a great tweet. Do you know how racist you have to be to go to bed in a bad mood because Sainsbury's has black people in it on its advert?
Yeah, that's pretty racist.
Lots of rolling on the floor, crying up emojis. How many is it? 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Oh.
8. 8 crying, laughing emojis.
Damn, that's a lot. But yeah. So with that, we're gonna start getting our. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I said I had a secondary thing that is kind of like similar vein, but also what they even.
Okay, go ahead. We got time. Let's go ahead and do it.
This is one of those things where, again, himself mentioned it this morning in his, the BBC's in trouble again. Alright,
What did they do this time?
Oh boy.
On the radio, on BBC 4, Radio 4, they had the Today program, I think it was, is basically they were, I don't know what they were talking about. I think Brexit related, so something to do with the Fisheries Commission, and they said, I protect yourself, people have sensitive ears, fisher peoples rather than fishermen.
Fisher peoples instead of fishermen.
They said fisher people, or or fisher person instead of fisherman.
Okay, I mean, makes sense.
Everything I've tried to pull up has always been right. I would say right wing, right leaning outrage. So you've got the Daily Mail, the Daily Express, polls here and there. Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
Basically getting outraged. The Sun, some people on YouTube. The only article, and I haven't been able to actually listen to the, because oftentimes with these sort of things when I see outrage, when you actually look at the original source material, it's really not that bad. Like the whole thing with Diversity doing their BLM routine, that thing rocked. That thing was awesome. So I haven't been able to find the original thing to listen to. The only thing I could find that seems to have disappeared now that was vaguely neutral was actually on MSN. and that was basically saying about it, but that article seems to have disappeared now. Yeah, Express,
Yeah.
Sun, Mail, Telegraph, Mail. Basically, it was how dare they? Like, and of course, they found one fisherwoman who said, "I'm just a female fisherman. I don't need to be told that. So I represent every other." Okay, now proportionally, it does seem to be that there's a very small minority of lady fisher people.
Mm-hmm.
But just because one didn't like it, she represents everyone.
Yeah, it's like the right saying that Candace Owens speaks for black people or something like that.
Oh, she's a clusterfuck.
Oh yeah, yeah. Candace Owens, by the way, just recently went off because Harry Styles had a shoot where he wore a dress or something.
Yeah.
And of course, all the right-leaning fucknuts over here are like, "Oh, the left is doing all this," and meanwhile, everybody else is like, "Well, that looks kind of neat. All right, that's okay."
Did you know that Harry Styles is gay?
It maybe I don't know, but here's the thing: it's like, if not for the snowflakes over there on the right, most of us would not have known or even cared.
Also,
yeah.
Sorry.
It's just dude's in a dress, looks all right, you know.
It's the whole masculinity thing, and like the fact that Ben Shapiro's gone in on it. Remember, kids, for those of you who've forgotten, Ben Shapiro thinks it's normal for a woman to be dry down there.
Yeah.
He's standing out for masculinity.
Yeah, no. Because let me tell you something. And this is for for all y'all with penises who like to put them in the vaginas. All right, for all of y'all. Let me tell you something. If you put your dick in something dry, it's not gonna feel good. You know, obviously it's not gonna feel good for the woman. Obviously, it's also not gonna feel too good for you. Because have you put anything inside of a dry hole of any kind? It doesn't feel good.
One of my favorite responses to that was, if black people weren't evil, why does my wife's pussy cry every time she sees one?
Wow.
Man, that's a bit racist, but kind of hilarious.
Yeah. Oh. It's like, oh, buddy, we got. It's like you find that person, but like, buddy, we gotta sit you down.
There's a reason BBC is a tag on most adult fun time sites, and it's not because of the broadcaster.
Yeah, that is true. But
there was another thing, but I need to do a bit more research on it. It's something called the CC Diamond. Short version. Someone stole it by replacing it with a replica from the gift shop, and it took them how long to notice? The CC Diamond.
2 weeks.
2 weeks to notice that it was missing.
wow.
Wow.
Substituted it with something from the
Holy shit!
Yeah, I said that part.
That is awesome. Oh.
Count Dankula's done a video, so up to you if you want to watch that. But yeah, I'm sure there's a wiki article in it. So CCSISI.
Yes, so CC, for those that don't... Am I live?
You're live. Well,
Right.
Yeah.
recorded
For
live.
those that don't know who CC is, she's the consort of the Emperor Jan Sprosiv of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. So she was somebody.
Wow.
And he only decided to steal the diamond the day before, after he made all the arrangements and parachuted into the Stromberg Palace.
Wow.
Is this the Hold My Beer story?
No. He was the thief. He was basically a maniac.
Oh, he was klepto. All right. He saw a challenge.
Basically, saw a challenge.
Okay, you say he was a klepto who saw a challenge. That's a Hold My Beer.
Yep.
When was it? When did this happen?
I can't remember.
But not recently.
20 years ago at most.
About 20 odd
The
years ago.
diamond had never been seen in public before.
So,
About 2 million quid.
so yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. It's a fun little story to.
Yes.
The best
So,
person that you should talk about for a future episode is
There you go.
fighting Mad Jack Churchill.
Oh god, yeah, that is a fucking good story. But we tend to do contemporary news. If you don't know who Mad Jack Churchill is, he was a legend from World War II. But since that's slightly outside the purview of what we do on this podcast, I will say go check out, and I'll dig it up and put the link in below. The technical difficulties, citation needed. They did an entire episode, and I actually was there because they did it. It was one of the ones they did live, and I was in the audience for that show. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I will put that down. Yeah, he is amazing,
right.
and he should have a film.
There you go.
So any thoughts on the diamond? Because I'm curious if you've got thoughts on the diamond.
Honestly, it's like took them 2 weeks. Holy shit.
Yeah. So
Scully. Scully, do you have thoughts on the diamond?
So either that was a really freaking good.
No, hold on.
I don't know. Wait, did they They just stole the diamond, didn't replace it.
I think they stole it and replaced it with a copy from the shop.
That must have been a hell of a convincing copy then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say. If they didn't notice it for 2 weeks, then yeah.
Yeah, just wow. Either very convincing or they were very, very, very stupid.
Yeah, one of those, yeah.
I'm gonna say very convincing because I wanna think better of some people sometimes.
Yeah.
See that?
But yes, so with that, we are going to go ahead and get on out of here for this week. Don't forget, within the coming days after this goes live, there's going to be a couple of Minecraft videos coming up, and I'm probably going to record some more because those are kind of fun. Gonna try and get into some other types of videos too. Baby steps to get back into video producing and all of that good shit. But speaking of people who sometimes does videos, Michelle, where can we find you on the internet?
Sometimes, at least twice a month. The only reason I'm not doing reviews at the moment is because the cinema's shut.
Yeah.
You can find me. I have a link tree, linktr.ee/Phoenix11. That's PHEONIX11. Yeah, and also quick polite reminder: please support Erin. He's good people.
Yes, very, very much so. And that link is going to be in the doobly-doo, at least for this episode. Like you said, it was like, what, maybe $400, $500?
Yeah.
If everybody is able to chip in like $10, $20, or what have you, then we could at least put a good dent in it, if not take care of it wholesale. But we'd have to see on that one. Scully, where can we find you on the net?
You can find me on Twitter at Scolipendra and Scolipendra91 on Tumblr.com.
Awesome. And as for me, I've got myself a link tree, linktr.ee/Gomer21XX. And as always, speaking of fundraising and needing money, I'll separate out the Patreon thing again, because I do mention it in the little ad break that the public gets. But patreon.com/Gomer21XX, and $1 a month you get everything early. As I go a little bit more and can do more and all that good stuff, I'll try and add more as I go along. But yeah, I'm gonna try and push it a little bit more because getting close to the end of my own savings. So yeah, by the end of the year I will be out, and I need to be able to pay what bills I do have without having to ask help from family. So unless family decides to give to it, in which case, well, I mean, that's kind of a moot point. Anyway, patreon.com, Gomer21XX. Be like Scully here, be a cool guy, and help support that way. But also,
or person.
Yeah. But also other ways you can help with just the show in general. Share it around if you're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. All of that. Give reviews, what have you. Feedback is important, especially as things are going to be changing up from the regular formula from here on out. So yeah, and I'm gonna try and start looking up guests soon. I know we're getting into the holiday season. Even with COVID, it could be a little bit of a busy time. But we'll work out what we can. But yeah, so thanks for listening, and we will catch you on the next one. Until then, this is Gomer the Ranting Thespian with Michelle and Scolipendra, signing off.
Bye.
Later.